Hello everybody, welcome back to the part 2 of the Lone Oak stream, first stream video-y thing that I've now had to download, split up into chunks and re-record commentary on because I forgot to have my microphone plugged in when I actually live streamed this on Twitch the other day. I've also managed to fix, in the previous video, the part 1 video, or should I say the part 1 of 4 video, I have fixed the audio out of sync issue that I was hearing as I was recording that commentary and talking about in that commentary, even though you guys watching the video may not notice any audio sync issues, because I've actually managed to fix it. I just can't be bothered to go back now and re-record the commentary for the first video. So I'm just steamrolling on ahead into part 2 of the video, where, as I say, we've got a worker currently ploughing our field, one of our fields. He's taking his sweet ass time about it. We've just bought a sprayer. We've got obviously the 6R, which we've leased as opposed to owned. We sold off the 6M because it's just too small. But we're going to grab the seeder. Now, I don't believe there are any seed fertiliser type refills on this map at the farm. We have the lime and we have the fuel. That is it. These things over here are purely decorative. They serve no function whatsoever, and that's kind of a bit disappointing. I will be quite honest about that. That's a little bit annoying. My kind of feeling on that is, if they don't serve any purpose, why put them there? For decoration, yeah, I can live without decoration. I could actually park tools and equipment in that space if they weren't there. So we're going to have to go get some seed and fertiliser, and I think I'm just going to use the easy development commands just to give my seeder a tank load of seed and tank load of fertiliser, just for the benefit of this first video and this first stream. I'm not going to go driving all the way back to the store to buy some pallets. I would have thought it would have come with some seed and fertiliser preloaded, much like our sprayer. Having bought it, you would have thought that, you know, the store would give you that little complimentary, you know, a bit of complimentary material. A bit like when you go and buy a car. When you go and buy a car, when you go to pick it up from the dealership, they always give you a tank of fuel. They've always put a tank of fuel in it. We've given you a free tank of fuel, and they tell you, we've given you a free... They ain't giving you a free tank of fuel. That tank of fuel is built into the price of the car. You've paid for it, but they like to tell you that they've given you a full tank. Woohoo! So you can drive off the forecourt and just, you know, hit the road and running. The same should be for all these things in farm sim. When you buy a seeder, it should come pre-filled with at least one tank load of seed and fertiliser. Although some people would probably exploit that, wouldn't they, come to think of it? Some people might exploit that then by buying a seeder with a tank of seed and fertiliser, unloading the seeder and then selling the seeder back, keeping the pallets of seed and fertiliser. Yeah, I've just answered my own question there, haven't I? Why the game doesn't do that. We're looking at crop prices, though. We're looking at prices, trying to work out what crops we're going to plant year 1. Probably, most likely, and definitely canola. Canola is always a big one, a big seller. We then probably want soybeans, because that's always, again, big money crop. And then we're probably going to want something like a wheat, a barley or an oat, just so we've got, or certainly a wheat or a barley, so we can start thinking about maybe chickens, and feeding chickens and keeping chickens, you know, looked after. One of the things we've obviously got to make sure is we don't plant anything we can't harvest, and right now we don't have any kind of header that will enable us to harvest sunflowers or corn. We certainly can't harvest cotton. We can't do potatoes or sugar beets either. So these are all things that we're going to have to think about long term down the road. Right now, Let's keep things simple. Let's plant what we can harvest. As I say, you don't want to be spending too much money in the first year, filling your sheds up with equipment that you hardly, you only use once, twice. As I say, normally I would think that having a combine harvester is not worth it. You might as well sell that on a map if you're starting a new farmer. Get your money back, put the money towards other things, maybe some placeables, and then come harvest time when you need to harvest 3 fields, just lease one for a day or two. It would be a heck of a lot cheaper. Heck of a lot cheaper. And you can also rent the headers as well. There's that possibility. I think with seasons, leasing is actually a lot more viable than it is in the vanilla game. There's really not a lot of point to leasing in the vanilla game, I don't think. But certainly in seasons where you only use a machine once or twice a year, why own one and have, several hundred grand's worth of money tied up, sat in a shed, not doing anything? And that's one of the things I found when I did briefly play with the realistic numbers mod before seasons came out as well. I was able to do that with leasing. In that was, again, if you were leasing long term, it was more beneficial to lease long term than short term. I don't know if seasons mod follows that principle or whether seasons mod still keeps it where you pay per day. So in the Vanilla Giants game, if you leased a machine, you wanted to borrow it, do a job and return it as quickly as you could, because that way then you didn't get charged operating hours and you didn't get charged the daily fee. I don't know if Seasons still does that, or like I say, whether Seasons kind of uses the realistic numbers approach where if you borrow a machine for 12 months, it's cheaper than if you borrow it for a day and return it. I'm getting comfy in my chair. So I have to sit here for another hour, talk over this video, this amazing video. I'll tell you what, the original live stream, the commentary that I actually came out with live as I was playing this was so much better than whatever I'm going to record today. Honestly, it's the same every time. I say the most profound, amazing, important and intelligent things when I'm doing it live. And now that I've got to kind of artificially go back over and re-record my audio, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. Don't drive into the water, pal. I would strongly advise you getting out of there. This field probably could have done with 2 headlands looking at that. One thing for a fact, as I'm seeding this field, I am going to be missing the fact that I don't have GPS installed. Because look how much overlap I'm applying. That's terrible. That's not efficient at all. That's also wasting fertiliser because I'm reapplying fertiliser to ground that I've already fertilised. The machine's intelligent enough to know not to put seed on an area that you've already seeded. However, it's not quite intelligent enough to know not to stop putting fertiliser on the ground that you have seeded. So many spam emails coming through all of a sudden. It's like my internet provider has completely and utterly failed on its spam filters. so much crap coming through on one of my accounts. It's yes. Let's shift all those. Fine, that's fine. Now, for some reason, I think I tabbed out the game at this point, which is kind of why it's gone very quiet. And there's no audio. And my tractor's just sat there, and I can't remember why exactly I tabbed out the game. Probably something very profound. Clearly doing something. I think I forgot to have Stream Deck open on my PC. I was trying to post something to the chat window, a response using my Stream Deck, and I couldn't do it because Stream Deck wasn't open. That was it. I also couldn't turn off the whatchamacallit thingy as well. There's a few other little things that I have set up on my Stream Deck to do, and it didn't do it. Doesn't work if it's not open and running. I also think I forgot to have Streamlabs chatbot running. I think it's Streamlabs chatbot. Yeah, and also my Streamlabs stream labels. So the whole stream I did the other day was a disaster from start to finish. The lack of microphone audio was a problem, and everything else was a problem. I wasn't getting alerts from people when people were following and stuff like that, and it's all because I shut down and restarted my PC, which is something I very rarely do, but I did it. And then I have this problem, and I have this problem with my computer, where when I shut down or restart it, when it actually comes back on, not all my USB devices and things that are plugged in get turned back on. Normally, once I have logged back into Windows after starting up my PC or restarting my PC, once I'm logged back into Windows and all the startup programs have started up and everything's running, I have to go around, unplug all my USB devices and plug them all back in. And then they're all working, they're all on, they're all fine. Because I didn't do that the other day, the mic didn't work. I streamed and there was no stream. I also noticed when I streamed the same day in the evening on the County Lines multiplayer map, for some weird reason, Helgi's Discord audio, when Helgi was talking, that wasn't coming through on the stream. I don't know why that is. Should be. One of them things I have to check periodically. But at least the audio is fixed, actually. And to be honest, the audio fix, I thought I was going to have to spend ages moving the audio file around in my timeline in Vegas. But that's not how you fix it. There's actually a problem. It's a well-known bug, apparently, with Vegas editing software, where it uses a different encoder. Whenever you import an MP4 video format into Vegas, it obviously generates the audio peaks and audio information, audio file, whatever that it calls it. It does something, doesn't it? When you place it, it starts building the audio information, and it uses an encoder to do that. That's built into the software. However, that encoder's apparently really bad at encoding or breaking down, decoding, and then re-encoding the MP4 audio format. And that's why the video in Vegas goes out of sync over a period of time, the sound on the video. So the only way to really work around it is you have to go into this super secret menu within Vegas, and you have to do a special key. You have to hold a key and go into a menu and open a menu with a certain key pressed on your keyboard to bring up the super secret menu. And in the super secret menu, you can search for this encoder that scans all the audio in your files that you import into Vegas, and you can actually disable it so it doesn't use that encoder. And that fixes the audio sync issues. All the audio plays fine now for me, and it's all magical and brilliant and wonderful. Anyway, we're getting the canola seeded on this field. It's not actually a terribly big field, actually, is it? Wondering how much canola we are actually likely to get off of this field long term. Chances are I will get a little bit more than what you would usually get off the field, because again I'm using a custom fill types and through types XML with this map. Yield per square meter is going to be slightly higher for all crops across the board, with the exception of crops like potatoes, sugar beets and sugar cane, which I've actually turned down the yield on because I think you get far too much of those in the vanilla game. But all your basic crops, your wheat, your barleys, oats, canola, sunflowers, soybeans, corn, cotton, I've increased the yield on those slightly across the board, so even if the field's small, you should get more off it than you would do with the vanilla version of the map. As I say, this is the Lone Oak map off the mod hub. I've downloaded, I've opened it up, I've tweaked and altered a few things for my own personal liking, to my own personal tastes, and now I'm playing it. And that's about all I've done. As I say, I'm not running a huge mod folder, huge mod list on this particular map this time. I'm going to keep it very simplistic. There's only a couple of mods I may think of adding before I do the next stream to make life a little bit easier. A few quality of life adjustments. One of those will be the animal HUD that's seasons compatible, so that I can quickly check the status of animals without having to go trawling through the animal screen, because the animal screen with seasons is it's just amateurish. It takes too long to navigate and scroll down that screen when you have all the animals in all the pens, and especially on this map, because I think all the pens hold, is it 500 animals? Apart from the horse pen. The horse pen obviously has, I think, 8 or 16. But the cows, the pigs, the sheep, the chickens all hold 500, which is the maximum amount of animals you can have in a pen in the vanilla game without having to load an extra script in your map mod. And if Oxygen David had included that script, he wouldn't have been unable to have put it on consoles. So I can see why he didn't include that script. But it means that the animal pens built into the map are maxed out at 500 animals each. Generally speaking, if I play a map that has built-in animal pens that you can't like sell off, you can't purchase from the placeable menu, and that, I would generally speaking edit those pens before I start the map to have more animals. So I'll put the maximum, you know, I'll make the chickens like be 1,000 chickens, pigs 1,000 pigs, sheep, you know, maybe 2,000, cows maybe, you know, 1,000. That way I can really maximise my sort of productivity, the output from those built-in pens, and I don't have to place extra giants ones which then look out of place. So on my Fenton Forest map, Let's Play series that I'm doing, the animal pens on there have all been increased. The ones that have come built into the map, Stevie's placeables, I've increased the animal count on all of those. I know they are placeables, you can buy them and sell them off, but at the starting farm, I'm just leaving the ones there, and I'm going to use those. Unless the frame rate starts to become a problem at the starting farm by having too many animal pens and too much going on at the starting farm, you can run into frame rate issues, as we did when we played on the Don Diego server. If that's the case, then I might start moving some animals and moving certain things away from the main farm if it starts to get a bit framey. Hey, we've nearly seeded our first field. That's not bad going, and I bet that worker still hasn't finished ploughing the first field. It's a joke, innit? Joke. I think when I first played FS19, when it the first day it released, I was playing on the Ravenport map. Was it the Ravenport map? Oh yeah, the Ravenport map was the one I first started on. I think I ploughed the first field with whatever plough they gave you at the start in new farmer mode on Ravenport, and after that I think I turned off ploughing because I was like, until they make a bigger plough, I'm not interested in ploughing. I could not be dealing with trying to plough with a 2 metre or 3 metre wide plough. As I say, thankfully mods started rolling out very quickly after launch, and soon we had some good ones. And obviously the first things a lot of people did was convert other equipment. So people converted like the cultivators in game to be ploughs. Like you could have the Joker cultivator as a plough. And obviously you kind of used that for a while until people actually started making proper ploughs. I'm still surprised that there hasn't been any proper ploughs, big ploughs, uploaded to the mod hub yet. Not one person, not one that someone's made has made it to the mod hub. They're all on, you know, mod sites. You can find them quite easily on mod sites, but it's weird that the people who have gone to the trouble of making them, not one person has decided or thought to themselves, you know what, I'll submit this because it would be a benefit to, you know, all the people on PC and consoles to have a, you know, a big plough at their disposal. Seeing as the largest ploughing game is 10 metres, anything over that would be welcomed by people. People would rip your hands off. You know, if the 15 metre John Deere plough that I use on one save game, people would, I imagine people would go nuts for that if that was released on the in-game mod hub. it would be one of the most downloaded mods, which means the person who submitted it would make quite a lot of money from Giants. And I bet the 20-metre John Deere plough that I'm using now on county lines, if someone submitted that to the mod hub, you can imagine you'd get hero status on the forums. But the Giants forums, I must admit, are a little bit weird. There are some strange people on there that just weird views and thoughts and feelings and stuff. Not gonna lie. Somebody created a thread today about what do you do with dead pigs on a certain on the Hofbergman map. What do you do with your dead pigs? What do you do with the pig carcasses and stuff like that? And basically, I decided to post a picture that I found on on a website or something somewhere. Basically, I think it was it was somewhere in America where I think they have a bit of a problem with like wild pigs or wild boar or something. And obviously one of them had got onto a field and was having quite a nice little picnic on the old corn in the field, and failed to hear or react to the sound of the combine harvester that was approaching it. And basically it got run over by the combine harvester and ended up in the combine harvester header, and there's a picture of it. And obviously I posted that picture on the Giants forums saying what you should do with dead pigs is harvest them when you're brand new, and make bacon, which is the brand new multi-fruit crop coming to mod maps near you soon. And obviously posted it, and it was there for about 5 minutes, and then obviously somebody came along, a moderator or something came along and deleted it, removed my post and the picture. So censorship is real over on the Giants mod hub. You can't have a bit of a laugh and a joke, unfortunately. No sense of humour. Anyway, we finished seeding our canola. We're done. Let's head over to the next field, which is quite a big field, field 32. 33 is a grass field. It's just got grass on it. I think I'm going to buy that, you know. Buy field... I'm going to put grass back on it. I might as well. It's right next to my farm. We might as well. We're not, you know... add it to our starting field. Makes more sense that it belongs to me than anybody else. Oops, we've broke it. We've broke the field. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Put the grass... We need to put the grass status correct. We need to grow the grass. There we go. That's fixed it. There we go. That fixed it. 35 there as well, which is just a grass field. There's lots of just grass fields on this map. Great if you like mowing and all you want to do is mow grass and make bales. There's plenty of it, and that, like I say, the fact that they're actually proper fields as well, which means AI workers will work on them, makes it so much more appealing than when people just leave it as like wasteland. You know, they don't actually put a field, like create an actual field, they just leave it as an area which has grass on it. What I'm trying to say is there is a difference in game between a grass field and a field that just happens to have grass on it. an area of land that just happens to have wild grass on it. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? No, no, no. Stupid, stupid person. Can't plant soybeans because it's not warm enough yet. Got to wait to the end of spring. Got to wait till late spring before we can plant soybeans. Means we're going to have to go over this little bit of field again, unfortunately. And that's not, even when I reset this field, it's not undoing that little bit that I've seeded, look. Means the field definitions are a little bit out of whack. I noticed that problem a lot as well on county lines, where for whatever reason, the area around the outside of a field where it's like a bit of a decorative border type thing, it causes some weird issues with where, like, you know, where the actual field starts and stops for certain functions in the game. What are we going to plant on this field when it's ploughed? Wheat or barley? Probably barley. Barley, I think, is the more expensive of the two crops, or the better selling crop, when we get to that point. This guy's been sat here for hours now, just raising and lowering the ploughs. This is, oh, vanilla helpers at their best. I'm just going to sit here all day lifting and lowering my hydraulics. I'm not actually going to do any work. I'm just going to raise and lower my hydraulics. You could have had the field done by now. Seeing as I've had to take control, let's go and plough the bits that he missed to begin with. Little spots. I think what you probably would be better off doing, if using the in-game workers, is actually just let them start a field and then you go around at the end and tidy it up. I tried to be a little bit proactive by doing the headland first, and I think it just completely makes a mess of the field. The AI just doesn't appreciate you doing headlands. So I'll plough it all myself after this point. No, I won't. No, I won't. No. I'll plough this bit that he was having an issue with, and then I'll go start him back at the top of the field and let him carry on. I might even get him to work across the field, because I think working top to bottom he's just having issues. I think as well it's going to affect his speed, because I don't think uphill this 8R has got a lot of grunt. If it's only the 290 horsepower 8R, it's not going to be very very powerful, and it's also not going to have the torque needed to drag this plough uphill, or drag anything uphill. It could barely drag itself uphill. I think what we do, have a look. We got one of those. Probably do something a bit beefier, a bit meatier. What about the American John Deere 8R? Lose the front linkage though, that's anything. You lose the front hydraulics with the American version. I also find the wheels look ever so weird on this thing. I don't know if this is exactly how these tractors look in America, but the wheels look... Those wheels look alright. Those wheels aren't too bad. Those are kind of okay. Those are sort of passable. Now it starts to look funny to me, it starts to look a bit weird like that, and that looks even weirder. That looks fine. So I don't know why anyone would ever buy it looking anything less like that. It just looks wrong. With any other tyres, it looks like it's got the wrong tyres on it, doesn't it? You know, when you look at these mods, it's like these as well. When you look at some of the tracks on some of these things, they look a bit anorexic, don't they? Look terribly anorexic. Now that looks better. That's how it should probably look. These are the kind of things we need to be aspiring towards getting added to our farm and having in our little collection of workshop items. And this is a new one. This mod only came out the other day on the mod hub. I don't know if it's custom modding's 8R. I don't know if it's from custom modding or from somebody else. I know custom modding were working on one, but I don't know if the one that released the other day is theirs or whether it's from another group. And I don't know whether, because this other group has beat them to the punch somewhat, whether that means that the custom modding one won't get released on the mod hub. Because Giants, generally speaking, don't allow duplicated mods. You know, you can't have like 6 different reskinned 8R tractors on the mod hub. Oh, chucked my phone on the floor. Haven't broken the screen, thankfully. Which is amazing considering how many times I've dropped this phone in the 4 years I've owned it. My iPhone 6S still has a lovely iPhone 6 Plus. Is it 6 Plus? I can't even remember what it is. 6 Plus, I think. My cup of tea. Some funky wheels on the 8R. More spam email coming through. Might have to send my internet service provider a strongly worded email that says, "Oi, update your spam filters and your thing, because I'm getting too much crap coming through on just one inbox, one channel. Just one of my email addresses is just getting spammed to hell right now with them." Tractors, beefy tractors. All possibilities for the future. We're certainly going to need something beefy to be able to pull the pull anything big, sort of plough or cultivator wise, aren't we? Yeah, that's how you'd have it, definitely. Still only goes to 450 horsepower though, the 8R. Quite weird. Compared to, say, the Fendt 1000 in the game, the 8R is very underpowered compared to the German offering. Oh, don't let the Americans know the Germans are beating them in tractor power. Ooh, that wouldn't go down well, would it? That'd be like a lead balloon. Yeah, compared to the Fendt, the John Deeres are very underpowered. Yeah, this isn't the most efficient way to plough this field, I don't think. It's too slow going uphill. I think you need to work across the slope. You should always probably work across the slope, I think. We'll get some lime sprayed on the field though. We'll get the lime slapped on it. On this bit that he's already ploughed. I was really hoping this plough would have actually made much more progress on the field than this. This is not good for my 3-day seasons plan if it's going to take 3 days for him to plough one field. Is it? And again, the GPS worker's having his issues, so best take over and sort him out. This guy's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to do. Come on. Right, let's have a look then. What's next? What are we going to be doing next? Love to be seeding, but this guy's is just taking all day. Look, he's done hardly any of that field. My word, what a pathetic shambles. Might as well do the bit I missed. Oh. There's me lambasting the AI worker because he's not ploughed enough of the field, and I only had a little bit to lime spread and I missed a bit. And what, he's reversing, he's faffing about. Can't be doing with it. I don't know how year after year Giants allows the AI in this game to be so retarded. I really don't. I mean, if it was a child, you would have slapped it by now, wouldn't you? Instead, Giants try to make out it's got one of them, you know, fancy disorders or something. You know, oh, I don't mind the AI worker, he's got ADHD or something. No, that's not a case at all. Made up flipping things. Well, let's buy some chickens, you know. Let's get some chickens in our pen. Let's get a rooster or two, or three, or however. I don't actually know how many roosters you're supposed to have with seasons. I need to look that up at some point in time when I'm on the older internet of things. Chickens. You don't need a rooster to produce eggs, but if you want your chickens to reproduce, then you need to have a rooster. Alright, so if I just want eggs, I ought to get rid of the roosters, really. See, this is the thing now, you see, because I'm not recording this because I'm recording this commentary after the video, I can check these things up and answer the questions that I was asking as I was playing and not getting the answers to. You see? A little bit of a method to the madness. There is some slight, you know, good to come out of the balls up. Let's give them let's give them some little food. Man, they eat a lot. Did I read that right on the animal screen? They need 44,000 litres for a year. A lot more than what they're eating on my current map, on the multiplayer map. Maybe that's because I've just bought one type of chicken. I know on county lines, we have the red ones as well as the white ones to try and hopefully lay eggs. But we could probably do with whereas obviously I think the white ones, being the massive egg layers, I think they consume more food than the red ones. Yeah, look, 40 odd thousand litres of food required for the year. That's a lot of food. I hope the harvest is good then. They're going to eat most of my first harvest. Aren't they? Greedy little buggers then, but they're already making eggs. Look at that. Oh my god, we've already got more eggs right now than I have on county lines in nearly 3 years of play. I think the animals on our multiplayer server are completely bugged and broken. I think they are totally bugged, broken. I think I need to sell them all off and rebuy them all. So lots of chickens have been bought. Yeah, that's a lot of food that they need to keep them going for a year. Just hope the egg prices are good. And we make plenty of money. Because eating that much food, if we don't actually get good harvest, we may have to actually buy pallets of chicken feed. Right, let's check back on the plough, see what he's doing. If he's doing anything. I think I've tabbed out the game again at this point. Right. Where is he? He's over here. Oh, just flipping playing with his hydraulics again. Just playing with his hydraulics again. You are the worst worker ever. Let's have him work this way instead. See if that makes it any better. Are you going to do a better job now, Mr. Tractor? I think this lovely bit of onboard footage was brought to you because I think at this particular point during the live stream I actually took a bit of a break to go and have a bit of a, you know, I went for a bio break and to get myself a drink. So I left it with the in-cab view with the worker working. Just to give people something to watch whilst I was away from the desk, but of course we weren't really missing a lot because, as I say, there hadn't been any audio recorded during the entire stream anyway. Oh dear. He's certainly doing a better job now. He's not faffing about with his hydraulics quite as much, is he? Which is a good thing. That's a positive sign. Anyway, it's all good. We're back. I'm back in control. Back in the chair. Still can't believe 2 hours into this live stream and we're still ploughing the same field we started on. Heck. This is why I'm, you know, seriously considering moving a lot of my Let's Plays to Twitch. I mean, Farm Sim Let's Plays, because it just takes too long to do tasks. You know, for me to plough, you know, half a dozen fields, I can't do that in like a 40-minute video. It's just not possible, you know. About contracts, is there any good contracts we could be doing while we're waiting for this guy to finish ploughing? I don't want to do anything on a field that's too big, because, you know, otherwise the cultivating will take as long as the ploughing. There's an you know, just a little bit of job somewhere that I can do just to keep me busy more than anything whilst I'm waiting for this flipping joker with the plough to hurry up and get finished.